Hello and welcome back to Football Talk. I'm not even sure what episode number we're on now, but as ever, I am your host, Dave Nichols, and with me is Josh.
Why, hello there.
He's on cue. Good. That's good to know. That's good to see you're on, Josh. In, loud, crisp, clear. I wouldn't have you any other way.
Thank you. Not floppy and muddy. No.
No. I definitely don't want you flopping. That sounds sexual. It's,
No.
it's not a sexual show, Josh. It's not a sexual show.
I'm glad you didn't say you think muddy is sexual as well, because I'd be really worried about your antics. But
yeah. Yeah. No. Right. Let's start this quiz. Go, Josh. You said you wanted to do your facts in the same way that you did last time.
Yes. Yeah. So after last week, Dave getting the 5 Norwegians, I've gone for another goal scorer one. So in Christian Eriksen.
Oh God. Yeah.
Okay. There have been 13 vans to score in the Premier League. Can you name them? So,
okay.
Van being the prefix to the Dutch surname. So, I'm not asking for your answer right now, but there's been 13 of them.
Okay, I'll make some notes. I'm going to tick one off the list straight away because I've just named my new puppy after him, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yes.
So yeah, he's getting ticked off the list straight away. Yeah, good. Okay, I'll keep making notes as we go.
Just for a little, he's number 2 on the list because it's in goal scored order. He's number 2.
Okay, cool.
All right, so that is what you've got to ponder for the rest of the pod, and we'll see at the end how well Dave does and how well you do with that question. So, on from that, we have our week in news.
Yeah, and I think I think international week is always normally a bit rubbish, isn't it? It's normally a bit rubbish. However, when Germany are playing so badly, it's always a little bit better. 3-0. 3-0
It's just
loss.
like, yeah.
Crazy.
And they haven't changed in the World Cup. It looked as disjointed as the World Cup did, didn't it? It was just ridiculous.
I think I read a stat. It was 8 defeats in the last 12 games under Joachim Low or something.
Yeah. Something they've won like 2 of the last 12. Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's poor.
Against the Netherlands team, who have been pretty, substandard compared to what we know in the past about the Netherlands. Yeah, it was incredible. So that really stuck out for me. Obviously, that only happened yesterday in the news, but that really was like that's a talking point for news because they were heralded, weren't they? Germany were like, oh, they had that big mess up in a tournament, and they revamped all of their youth system, they revamped everything, and then it led them to a World Cup, and now what'd you say? Sort of thing. It's like
the same needs to happen again by the looks of things. Like Jerome Boateng looks, for me, he looks gone. He's diving in, he's slow, he's cumbersome. Hummels as well, both of the centre backs. Hummels just seems to spend more time bombing forward than caring about defending. And it's only a matter of time to is it Sule, the other Bayern centre back, comes in, but Cruz is getting bossed off the ball. It's Holland looked really good from what I saw, and it's good to see because I don't like having the major sides, Germany side, a little bit of rivalry, not in standard of how good we are compared to how good they are, but just over the years there's been some rivalry moments. But it's nice to see Netherlands kind of looking good again. I mean, the same can't be said for Italy, but I have no problem seeing Italy kind of come back. I'd like to see them being a powerhouse again.
Yeah, they play lovely football. They obviously were back in the day played defensive football, Italy, but it was always good passing, attacking football when they did it. I'd love to see it back in. Yeah, I'd love to see them back in the limelight. Anything caught your eye in the news? I've got one other thing, big topic, but you go if you've got one.
Yeah, there's been a fair few actually. So we've had Monaco confirm their new manager.
Yes,
Monsieur Thierry Henry. I mean, would you choose the West Midlands of Villa, or would you choose the south coast of France and the Principality of Monaco? It's a hard decision, but
Villa.
I think he maybe made it right. Yeah, Villa. Well, Villa. You would do. Yeah, you love a bit of Villa.
I love Villa.
Yeah, and so it'd be really interesting to see how he does.
I still think it's a sensible thing for him to do as a manager, because it can't really do any worse, can it? Like, they're third bottom in Ligue 1 and they're Monaco. It can only really go up. If they get relegated, he can go away and say, well, I inherited all the mess from Yardim, it's not my fault. If he gets them into mid-table, well, that's the sort of players we're working with. If he gets them into the Champions League, well, job done, successful, move on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, or he's just joined a sinking ship and he'll actually make it worse. I don't know. Joining a club in dire straits is obviously you back yourself to make some improvement, and hopefully he
Yeah.
does. But I mean, when he played, I never thought of him as someone who would be a manager. And it's funny. We now have Lampard, we have Vieira, we have Giggs, we have Gerrard, we have Thierry Henry, all in management. It's funny to see they're the kind of their peak Premier League, and now we're entering this second phase, aren't we, of them in management?
It
It's
is.
interesting to see how they all do.
It is. It's interesting to think that the players we were growing up with, watching week in week out, are now managers. It's the sort of thing you do on like playing Football Manager, when you have, if you're with a team for so long and then your players that you're managing become a manager in the game or a coach or something, you try and sign them back at the club.
Yeah.
It's sort
Yeah,
of
you
like
want them to come in. Yeah.
it's sort of like a surreal moment where you sit back and think, wow, Gerrard and Lampard, I saw them play at like 3 World Cups and now they're both managers. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, we were there at the start of their playing careers, and now we're at the start of their managerial careers.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the best to Thierry Henry. I don't know. I don't foresee him being a very successful manager. I can't at the moment foresee a 25, 30-year career in management. Can't see it.
No, neither can I. I can see it.
But who knows?
Flash in the pan and then back to punditry, similar to sort of Gary Neville.
Yeah, I'd say a little bit. I think he's got a little bit more. It's a better match for him. Neville to Valencia was odd, but Henry to Monaco makes more sense than that. So, yeah. Other news, obviously we had John Terry retiring. He's now assistant at Villa, isn't he?
He is. And apparently, the rumours say that he's been forced in as assistant. So the current manager there,
without Dean Smith's.
Yeah, apparently he wasn't wanted, or he wasn't Dean Smith's first choice. But the board were like, well, we need to keep him around, so he's going to be your assistant manager. So things like that never work out very well.
No, that's not a good idea, is it?
No.
But I'd like to just shout Premier League defenders, and probably one of the best defenders of his era, really. Fantastic player.
Yeah, maybe.
Just... Whoa.
Rio
He
Ferdinand.
was phenomenal.
He was very good.
They're on a par. Him and Ferdinand, there's very little to choose between them.
Yeah, there is. I'll agree with that.
Even if you stats wise, there's very little to choose between him. Like league titles, I think Rio may have won one more. Amazingly, Rio's never won the FA Cup.
What? Really?
He's not got. No FA Cups.
Ah.
But yeah, and John Terry is the top scoring Premier League defender of all time. He was a bit of a boss in the box, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was always in the right place, right time, wasn't he? Great header of the ball, time to run well, but then also when it fell, he could stab a foot at it quite quickly as a defender.
Yeah.
Very good.
He was very good with his feet. I played left centre back and was right-footed, but his passing out from back with both feet was always very good. So, yeah, well done, John Terry. Fantastic career. Let's see what he seems like a manager. He seems like a manager in the making. So, and obviously taking the assistant's job, it doesn't obviously preclude him from having a managerial career. But it'd be nice to see what becomes of him as well.
So, just while you're saying that, because obviously, like we've discussed, we knew them as players. Like we watched them growing up. Why would you say John Terry's more suited to management than Thierry Henry? Both captained a club. Both captained a big London club. So. Why?
It's the style. I think footballing style and leadership style. It just on the pitch you could see John Terry helped organise defence, which obviously is a facet of a manager. He helped organise a team. You could see verbally he put forward. He was quite charismatic in his own way. I think he was just kind of naturally there. Thierry Henry led via. I don't think he was very, very, very liked as a person. He never seemed to be. He seems quite likeable, but I don't think he was ever that popular as a person. He was popular because he was a fantastic footballer and led teams in that way. And I think it's slightly different because obviously that doesn't quite work in managerial terms. But you're a fantastic player, be a fantastic manager. I don't think he doesn't seem to display that skill set on the pitch, which would make him naturally a manager.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Maradona
managers,
showed that, didn't he?
Yeah, managers don't. Typically kind of midfielders and defenders. I'm trying to think of forwards who successful managers, or forwards and goalkeepers is a bit of a kind of mixed bag.
Johan Cruyff.
It's a funny one. Yeah.
Nuno Espirito
There would definitely be anomalies to that.
That's true. Yeah, it's mainly anomalies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but,
okay. Yeah, cool. I mean, and
Okay.
the big thing I wanted to talk about in news was the potential that PSG and Red Star are embroiled in a match fixing scandal. Now, have you seen that?
I have seen that, and
Yeah.
because it was a Serbian leader whopped like millions and millions on the losing margin being exactly 5 goals.
Yeah, not just a Serbian leader, a Red Star official. So an official from the club.
Also a Red Star official.
Yeah,
Okay.
is suspected of betting 5 million euros on the Serbian side losing the game exactly by 5 goals. Yeah, which is dodgy, isn't it? It is dodgy now
It,
because
it
it's not something
it
you put
is, but
4 million euros on, is it? Or 5 million euros?
no. But what is somewhat comforting is that, I mean, I've seen the highlights of the match, and clearly the goalkeeper wasn't in it because that guy stopped it from being an absolute kind of whitewash. He made a lot of saves, so he must not have been aware of it. It had to be exactly 5 because he was just fighting for his life out there. So, somewhat comforting that it doesn't seem that players are in it. But I mean, whenever match fixing comes up, I'm kind of like shocked and unsurprised at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you
Kind of
mean.
unsettled with the fact that oh, it's coming out. But really, with so much money in something and so many levels of kind of the administration above it and kind of officials who can profit off directly. It's like I'm not surprised at all that it happens because
Yeah.
linked to this week, there's a Belgian referee saying that every match has been decided before kickoff, and
Wow.
he is a referee in one of the Belgian leagues. It's like part of me thinks, is that possible? Like
Yeah.
you can't actually legislate against someone roofing a shot from if it's just say it's just referees involved and they can only do so much surely because some last minute goal must go in or sometimes I don't know you can't just you can't avoid sending someone off because it's absolutely just so blatant you can't do anything about it or a player goes off injured and it all just the tide turns. I wonder, is it possible that just referees alone could fix matches?
Yeah, I don't think so. Unless you can get like the whole because the refereeing now isn't just the referee, is it? You would have to bribe the ref, the fourth official, the linesman. You know, if it's a UEFA League game, the little guys with a stick behind the goal. It
Yeah.
because you couldn't. And again, if
Then
you did
VAR.
like and
Yeah.
then VAR, yeah. If you just bribed the referee, the man in the middle of the pitch, the linesman would then probably think and be like, "This guy's having an absolute nightmare of a game. Let's look into it or
Yeah.
report him to the FA or something." I just think I agree that I don't think you could fix a game, but at that level with just the referee, just paying the referee off, because everything's so
But
watched, isn't it, and so
yeah.
viewed around the world, it would be ridiculous.
But even officials alone, I feel like there's so many other variables within a match that a referee can only has a certain amount of control. Sometimes he can't. I suppose that maybe the majority of the time referee could control it. And I'm thinking about the anomalies where a player scores a last-minute bluter from 40 yards, and the referee's like, "Oh God, I had this. I had to have this at 2-1. Now it's 2-2." But yeah, it's. I would not be surprised to find that Michigan was rife. I wouldn't be surprised to find that doping is rife because when there's so much money riding on things, people take it seriously to get things going their way.
Yeah, because you've mentioned the doping thing before, saying that
Mm.
you think it's very much present in football in this current day and age, and I think that it's hard because I'll be stereotypical here and say it's about Russia. Let's look at Russia. Right, there was
Mm.
evidence to suggest that previously they've done political supported doping or party supported doping in other sports, but football has so much money all around it in Russia and the rest around the rest of the world that they could probably pump money into a medical society to invest and invent drugs before WADA or whoever does it for football has a chance to even be able to detect what it is that they're developing.
Yeah, I always say the money's there with the illegal side of things much more readily than it is with the legal side of things. So you will always have the in which any situation will always be playing catch up because the government won't be putting the money to it because quite often you'd find that the government are involved in taking a cut anyway. So
Yeah.
it's it's sickening, but it just makes if it all comes out, I wonder how many people. If say it came out massively, either way, fixing or doping in say Premier League football, I think it would be disastrous for it because so many fans would be completely turned off by it. You're like, what am I even believing in?
It would. I mean, you've also got to look at it. You could look at it on the flip side as well and say it's so popular and there's so much riding on it that everybody knows they wouldn't drug cheat because if they get caught, the consequences are too high.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah, it is. Let us know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think it's rife in football, or do you think it's football so popular that people wouldn't get away with it? Like you just wouldn't
go near it. Yeah,
they wouldn't go near it because the risk far outweighs like the
reward.
The reward, yeah. That's an interesting question, actually, yeah, for the comments and anyone listening on SoundCloud, let us know. I suppose while we're there, I should plug it. SoundCloud Football Talk. If you search for us on SoundCloud, we're number 1 that comes under that name, which is really good. Thanks to everybody that listens. We couldn't do that without you guys. In YouTube, you can search Football Talk, and I'm pretty sure we're very near the top of that as well. And you can find us on Twitter at Football Talk. But you've got to remember, Josh,
there's no A in football.
There's no A in football when you're looking for us on Twitter. And we do put out polls and we do put out things, questions, and we ask you guys to submit questions as well. So it's just a way of you guys interacting with us a little bit more and going through it. And while we're talking about that, I did quickly put out a poll, so we'll just do those answers. We'll just go through that. And this week, it was because it's International Week, it was around the England squad. And did you answer it, Josh? Did you answer the poll? Just before I announce what it was. You did answer it.
That's right.
That's good. So, the poll this week was, was Callum Wilson worthy of an England call-up for the upcoming games? Yes, no, and who cares? What did you vote for, Josh?
Yes, I answered emphatically yes.
Yeah, good. I also said yes.
He's been in cracking form this season. Yeah, I mean, he's still 26, had almost 2 career-ending injuries, but his hold-up play has been fantastic. He's assisted, he's scored goals. I think we touched on last week. You mentioned, why are England taking four goalkeepers?
Exactly in light of this,
why are they taking 4 goalkeepers and not Callum Wilson? So, yeah, I think he can find himself very hard done by.
Yeah, I would agree. So the results were 69% of people said yes, 25% of people said no, and 6% said who cares. So there's 6% of people that aren't fussed that much about the England team in this international break. But yeah,
maybe yes.
The overriding feeling was that yes, but someone did respond. SSR Hyper said he put no, but Glenn Murray was worthy of a call up. Which, you know, if you're going on form and goals.
Yeah, also go on style of play, and a Brighton side set up to feed him goals is very different from an England side who isn't. And I mean, we saw Harry Kane somewhat isolated in the 4-3-3 with England, and Glenn Murray would fare nay better.
Yeah.
So you can look at goals and assists, and I agree, Glenn Murray, fantastic goal scorer, but you often have to ensure the style and style of play of a side is suited for him, and obviously England would not build a side around a team of Glenn Murrays.
All we want is a team of Glenn Murrays. But yeah, okay, fair enough. So I think that's good. Just a quick update, Josh. I have 7 Vans that I know have scored in the Premier League. So I'm missing 8 more?
Not bad.
Is it 8 more? 13, you said?
6 more.
6 more. Okay. I'm struggling though, because I'm pretty sure I've named all the strikers that we've had. And 1 defender.
And obviously you might be maybe you think he's scored and he hasn't. Who knows?
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, so we'll leave the news there and we'll move on to, before we go on to our main feature of the episode, we'll go on to the wiki files. Who needs the wiki files? I need the wiki files. I've got a wiki file for you. There we go.
Yes.
It's getting there. So here we go. In front of me, I have. Oh my god.
Say what you see, Dave.
Oh my god, right, he's American, I'm going with that. And I say that because he's played for St. Louis Billikens in his youth team, college career. It's not even listed as youth team, it's listed as college career. St. Louis Billikens.
And how good was he for them?
It was incredible. 72 goals in 89 appearances, which is ridiculous. In 94, that got him a move to the mighty Milwaukee Rampage, scoring 17 in 18. Oh my god.
He's on fire.
Yeah, then he got a move to the Bundesliga with Wolfsburg in a year, 94-95. 1 season there, 2 goals in 18. Not as good. moved back to
Didn't
America.
settle in Europe, so went back.
Yeah. Didn't settle in Europe, so didn't like Germany. So moved back to America and played for Columbus Crew. Got 62 goals in 161. Not bad. What's that? 1 in 3, roughly? Yeah.
Yeah, about
1 in 3. Then that got him a loan move to Preston North End, which is weird. One
Shock
goal
to the
in
system.
1 goal in 9 games. Then that got him a move. Then after that, he had a loan move to Everton, which sort of looks like the years. If you go 2003 is when his contract ended with Columbus Crew, so it looked like it was playing out his contract when the European game plays and the MLS finishes, because he only played 8 games and scored 4 goals, which is impressive.
Does it also reek of David Moyes? Because David Moyes has got a Preston Everton link, hasn't he?
It does reek of David Moyes, but I think that could be a red herring that you're throwing me. I'm not sure, because David Moyes probably would have signed him.
Maybe.
Fulham, 4 years at Fulham, 33 goals in 140, which not too bad. And then 2008 to 2010, he moved to Chicago Fire, scoring 18 in 59. And then in 2012, he played for Wembley, and he didn't play for Wembley. He was just there, just standing in Wembley, not playing football, because he had 0 appearances, 0 goals. So, giving him a total of 137 goals in 413 appearances, which isn't, not too bad. So some names jump to mind, but did he
Can I just give you a little bit of a fact on that Wembley piece? That Wembley piece was when Wembley tried to get into the FA Cup. They did an FA Cup campaign, so Ray Parlour, Keown, Claudio Canigia, Danny Dichio, Graham Lasso, David Seaman all joined. Terry Venables was there to try and get as far as they can in the FA Cup. They got knocked out pretty early on, I think.
Yeah, and this guy obviously.
So that's where. Well. Yes, and this guy,
Okay. I think immediately that comes to mind are people like Thomas Radzinski, but I think he was Canadian. And I can't.
Correct. I liked a bit of Thomas Radzinski.
Yeah, so did I. I can't ever. And he was at Everton permanently, I think, before moving to Fulham.
He had a big stint at,
Yeah. The other one is Brian McBride, I think played for Everton and Fulham. Of course, I'm sticking with American players here. I don't know for a fact, so I'm going to ask for his international stats if I can. If you've got them to hand.
I do have them.
Okay, so I'm just trying to think who it could be, because it's tough. It's the Germany bit that's actually really throwing me off. Okay, so he made 95 appearances for the United States and scored 30 goals between 93 and 2006, which is quite a good career. It's a long career, 13
years. Puts him fifth on the list of American top scorers. You want to give a off-topic quiz? Who are the other 4 ahead of him in the top scorers for the USA?
Clint Dempsey.
Yes,
he's got to be up there. And I know this isn't Clint Dempsey. He plays for Seattle Sounders. Yeah. Oh wow, who else has scored a lot of goals for America? Freddie Adu.
Not Freddie Adu.
He had like 4 appearances.
Who was Mr. USA? This guy had a couple of stints on loan. I think on loan at Everton.
Yeah. Landon Donovan, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he number 1? Is he number 1 of the scorers?
He's joint first. Both Dempsey and Donovan have 57 goals apiece.
Okay. Is there like who's the guy with the big ginger afro?
The other player.
Lalas.
Wasn't he like Alexi Lalas? He was. I thought he was more defensive. No, it's Sunderland beast.
Josie Altidore.
Somehow won international goals.
Yeah, wow, incredible. Okay, back to
there's
the quiz.
Eric Wijnaldum, who I don't know.
No, I don't know him. Yeah, I'll tell you who will be on that list pretty soon. Timothy Weah. He'll be up there. Just you wait. I'm so excited about Timothy Weah's career. Anyway, back to this man who I don't know who it is. So who was it?
What I would ask you the question, Dave, to bring this to a close. Why don't you think it's Brian McBride?
Because I swear he didn't go on loan to Everton. I swear he was there permanently. But I'll say Brian McBride.
It is Brian McBride.
Yeah. I should have just gone with it.
Oh, it's when you say an answer, say it with conviction. Everybody believes you.
Yeah, I know. That's true. Well, there we go. Brian McBride. I think I used to like him at Fulham. I think I used
Yeah,
to like
I've no
him.
problem with Brian McBride. Yeah, I mean it's that Fulham again. I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah. Can you remember
Fulham nice, aren't they?
Facundo Sava, who played for Fulham up front?
Yeah,
His
didn't he
celebration
bring
was
like a
the mask? Yeah,
mask? Yeah,
yeah. I used to love him as
yeah.
well, just because it was Fulham. Yeah,
Yeah.
just because it was Fulham. But anyway, there we go then. The
Anyway,
Wiki
well done,
Files.
Dave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, the next feature, I'm actually going to let you introduce it, Josh, because it was your. I think you talked
Please
about it in
do.
the last podcast, and it was very interesting.
Yes, it was my
So,
brainchild.
yeah, go
so
for it. Go for it.
well, it ties in quite nicely with International Week. So I was thinking about, we talked about supporting, question last week was about supporting English teams in Europe. And sometimes you question when, say, an Arsenal lines up and an Arsenal side lines up and there's no English players. And you're like, why? What makes them English? So I thought it'd be interesting to see which Premier League side had the best five-a-side team made up of explicitly English players. So to kind of fulfil that kind of question, Dave and I have taken 10 teams each. We've formulated a five-a-side team for each of those 10 sides, and they're going to go head-to-head, and we're going to see who has the best English five-a-side team. So the first one I looked at was Arsenal, and the first one you looked at was Leicester City, Dave.
It was Leicester City, and it's. I think you tipped Leicester quite highly in this, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you think they'd have a bit
Love
of
them.
everything. Yeah. I'll let you know. I'll let you know where they'll struggle. Goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, not as much as Arsenal would struggle with goalkeeper. Oh
Go on.
my!
Go on, what's your five? What's your
Arsenal's
five?
goalkeeper. So
What's
my
your
five is Arthur.
Arthur.
My goalkeeper, Arthur Okonkwo. We all know him. Big
Right,
fan.
yeah.
I've got
Household
a couple
name.
of defenders: Rob Holding and Carl Jenkinson, Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Danny Welbeck. I have no players to choose from, and I have obviously grabbed Arthur Okonkwo from
Yeah.
their youth team because he's age 17. So
Okay.
that's how good Arsenal is.
So I think Arsenal are going out in the first round because I think Leicester head-to-head will beat them. But I think it would be a lovely five-a-side game to watch. I think it would be a goal fest, and the fact that I just think Jamie Vardy would score more than Danny Welbeck, and that would be the difference. So Leicester in goal would have Max Bramley. If there's any
Big fan. Love Max Bramley.
Any Telford fans listening, you'll know who he is because he's currently on loan at you from Leicester's under-23s. Now, I know we're not meant to pick players. We're meant to be players that are only at the club. Leicester didn't have any single goalkeeper, even in their youth team, who was English. So I had to pick someone that was out on loan. Yeah. So he's from their youth team, out on loan at Telford. Then I've also gone with two defenders, so matching you for formation. Chilwell and Maguire are at the back. With
The international's currently away with a team.
Exactly, yeah. With Maddison and Vardy playing. Well, Vardy obviously up top,
Also-
and Maddison running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both.
But yeah,
So that's-
Maddison away with England, and Vardy's retired. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's no contest there, really, is there? Rob Holding, I've never been a biggest fan of. Carl Jenkinson, I mean, he's a championship player all over. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know who Carl Jenkinson represented at under 19s and under 21 level?
Oh, do you know what? I used to know this. It's Finland, isn't it?
It is Finland because his
Yeah.
mother is Finnish Swedish descent, and then he's played for England under 21s now. So yeah, Carl Jenkinson not great. I mean, Ainsley Maitland-Niles I think has got some potential. Gets played out of position a bit, and then Danny Welbeck. We've discussed Danny Welbeck far too much already over the years, but yeah, that is a Leicester win all day, isn't it?
It is. I think that is a Leicester win. So next up then,
Congratulations, Leicester.
you must
I have
have
Bournemouth and you
Yeah.
have Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
So I was delighted with players for Bournemouth. Bournemouth have got something like 16 of their first team squad are English, so I was very much blessed with players to choose from. But again, weak link goalkeeper. Their fourth choice goalkeeper is Aaron Ramsdale, who had to go between the sticks. 20-year-old signed from Sheffield United, yet to make his debut, but has played for England under 21s.
Okay.
Then the other four are made up of a couple of cooks and a pair of players that eat up their chances. So I've got Steve Cook, their centre back,
Yeah.
and Lewis Cook, the England under 20s captain.
Yeah.
And then I've gone for a player we've discussed earlier is Callum Wilson, And I just can't have a five-a-side team without Jermaine Defoe because he'll be lethal in five-a-side.
So
He would just absolutely dominate it.
the formation is a 1-1-2. Is it literally go for goals?
Callum Wilson can put in a shift, but yeah, Jermaine Defoe is not doing much. He is just sniffing around. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, I could have chosen Junior Stanislas, Dan Gosling, Sermon, Ibe, Charlie Daniels, Adam Smith. There's just a lot of players to choose from, so that was quite comforting to see that Bournemouth had those riches. But so, what about yourself then?
So Liverpool, they'll have to play Daniel Atherton in goal, who's currently in their under-23 squad, and by all accounts is having a very good season.
Son of Michael Atherton, the England opener.
Is it actually? Do you know that as a fact?
No.
I was going to say.
No idea.
No idea for that one. Cheers, Josh. I thought you were going to make me look like an idiot.
Should have stuck to my.
Yeah, you should have stuck to be confident and just say it.
Yeah.
I've gone for a one-man defence, which would be interesting against Jermaine Defoe and Callum Wilson in Trent Alexander-Arnold. I was going to pick Gomez, but then I realised...
I was about to say, you've got an option.
Yeah, but I prefer Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I think he'd offer more in five-a-side than Joe Gomez. So... and then I'd play two midfielders in front of him. Neither of them are defensive. Adam Lallana, because close control in five-a-side's a difference maker.
Yeah, he'll be very good in that, yeah.
The Ox brings the energy. He brings the energy and a good shot from distance. And then Daniel Sturridge is a poacher to put him in.
Oh, that's a good side. Good. And James Milner doesn't even get a place.
James Milner doesn't get a place. I think the pitch is too small for him. It would get knackered too quickly, I think, James Milner in five-a-side. Imagine him trying to keep up with Callum Wilson as he did jinx around him. Not for me. Not for me in five-a-side.
True.
So.
All right. Well, I think Liverpool win that bout, don't they?
You're giving it to Liverpool as well, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they've got England international Ox, England international Lallana. They got a little bit weak in the back. I mean, there's a lot of weight on. Callum Wilson and Jermaine Defoe around Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's too much there.
Again, it'll be a classic.
So,
lots of goals five-a-side game. That one, classic.
Yeah. This is an unfair matchup. I've got Brighton Hove Albion versus Man City here. So Brighton didn't have too many players to choose from. I only had 6 players to choose from.
Okay.
So, and one of them, and I had 2 goalkeepers, which are much of a muchness. So they have Jason Steele or David Button in goal. David Button, ex-Spurs player, but I went for the more experienced Jason Steele, who, fun fact, has got 1 cap for Team GB. He played in a friendly against Brazil before the Olympics. He was in that squad, Jason Steele.
Incredible.
Yeah. So I have King of Own Goals, Lewis Dunk, Dale Stevens, Solly March, and one of our listeners' favourite strikers, Glenn Murray, gets in the side. So feed Glenn Murray all you can, but I'm not sure there's much to feed him. I don't mind Solly March. Solly March it's quite a nippy little winger, but it's pretty rudimentary as this side.
Yeah, I'm going to point out something straight away. We're playing classic five-a-side. No overhead balls. No overhead passing.
Oh.
Glenn Murray's absolutely screwed. Yeah. He's absolutely screwed. Yeah. So, my Man City team is in goal is Grimshaw, who, again, is actually registered. He's a young player, but he's registered in their Premier League squad. So, I don't know if that means he's over 21, but yeah, he's in the...
No, I'm going to say he's under 21, but they needed a homegrown talent is what I'd say that was.
Yes, more than likely. At the 2 at the back in Kyle Walker bringing the energy and John Stones being the defensive rock.
Oh, yeah, nice.
In front of them, I had a couple of options, but I plumped for Phil Foden. I think, trickery. He looks like he'd enjoy a good game of five-a-side, doesn't he, Phil Foden? And then up front, Raheem Sterling. And I think that would annihilate Brighton, I think, in five-a-side.
So what about, who have you left out from that? You've left out...
Fabian Delph.
Fabian Delph. And anyone else note?
No, there wasn't that really much anyone else of note, English-wise. They had a couple of youngsters. They have a couple of youngsters that I can't remember the name of right now. But yeah, it's not. It's for an English.
No established first-team players. Yeah.
Yeah, for an English point of view, I think it was 5 from 6 pretty much, and the only one I left out was Delph.
Not great. Yeah. This is a sad indictment of where we find ourselves, I think.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Next up, we have Burnley versus Manchester United.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
As you can tell, I've got a wealth of players to choose from with Burnley because we've spoken about their UKIP transfer policy before.
Which goalkeeper have you
14, 15. Exactly. We've discussed earlier how a weak link in the other sides is the goalkeeper. That's because Burnley have them all. We have Nick Pope, we have Tom Heaton and Joe Hart. And they also have the fourth choice, Adam Legzins, who is also English, so I didn't choose him. But I went for Nick Pope.
Okay.
I was impressed with him last year. Tom Heaton's always kind of been mediocre for me, and Joe Hart's on the downwards. I've liked what I've seen from Nick Pope. Again, this is a very kind of solid. This is a very. I mean, you can take the 6 players out of the starting Burnley 11, but you can't take the Burnley players out of it because it is very kind of solid. I've got Tarkowski, Ben Mee, Jack Cork, and then Aaron Lennon is offering my attacking threat, and we all know how good Aaron Lennon's finishing ability is. But I mean, I could have played. There's lots of players I could have chose from. I could have chosen Ashley Westwood, Ben Gibson, Matthew Loughton, but it's all defensive elements. I thought I was going to be able to choose Ashley Barnes up front, but I've stuck him in the Austrian ranks because he has got an under-21 cap for Austria.
He has, yes, he has. I did know that, yeah. That was a really interesting one because the Austrian manager is trying to tap him up for the senior team now. Yeah, I read an article about that just before the Nations League came out, yeah. So, interesting. Okay.
And so that is my Burnley side, your United side?
Yeah, they're up against my Man United side, which is Lee Grant in goal. Experience, let's just leave it at that. Oh, God, right. Now, picking a defender. It's tough when you've got to pick between Chris Smalling and Phil Jones because you don't really want to play either of them in five-a-side. I went with Smalling. I plumped with Chris Smalling in five-a-side. I just think Phil Jones would fall over too much in like a close proximity game.
You can't do it. No.
He'd trip over himself and trip over everybody else, wouldn't he? And then I've gone with Luke Shaw next to him, sort of playing in a sort of linking the midfield to defence in a five-a-side sense. Lingard in front of them for the action. Bit of close control, loves a shot, and then Rashford just running around and causing havoc and putting the ball in the back of the net. And I think it's a lot closer compared to the other fixtures we've had so far. I think Burnley would give that Man United team. I think they'd give them a run. Yeah, I think they would. I think Man United would edge it, but
yeah, but I don't see where Burnley's goals are coming from.
That's the problem.
They'd probably create some chance. They'd be solid, but they'd have to catch it. But Aaron Lennon's not going to finish those five-a-side goals. He'd be skying all day long.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's 4 out of 4 wins for you so far. Leicester, Liverpool, City, United have all gone through.
Yeah, but who have you got next?
Next up, we have the relegation battlers. We have Cardiff versus Newcastle United.
Please never do that again. In fact, do it loads on stream because it's hilarious.
Right, so Cardiff, everyone's favourite team, Cardiff City. I again had a wealth of players to choose from because they're effectively a championship club and that's where we find all our English players. So I've gone for a very solid side again. I've gone for Alex Smithies in goal.
Yeah.
Sean Morrison is their captain, is in defence with Joe Bennett. I've got the pacey Josh Murphy kind of doing a big old shift, and then up front I've got Bobby Reid. I mean, that has got... Again, you try and make something different with a Cardiff side, you can't. It's championship written all over it. But I imagine you're going to have something similar.
I've got, I don't know. I think this would be.
Oh no, you got John Joe Shelby. Yeah, who's going to be lovely in the.
That's the difference. Yeah, that
and
is.
Jamal Lascelles. Oh yeah.
You've pretty much named my team. Yeah.
Right,
so I've got.
Spoilers alert. Yeah.
Yeah. I've gone. I had two goalkeeper choices: Carl Darlow and Freddie Woodman. Now Freddie Woodman is very highly rated, but I went with Darlow because I think in an actual game you'd go with a more experienced goalkeeper in terms of Premier League appearances. So I went with Carl Darlow in goal. Then Lascelles is the one centre back. Because the other English centre back they have is Jamie Sterry, and no information on him, no idea who he is. Midfield, John Joe Shelby, and I've gone with Isaac Hayden because I want a holding with only one defender. I wanted a sort of solid defensive midfielder.
He could probably do a job as centre back. He's just limited, isn't he? Yet? Okay, nice.
And then up front because they don't have an English centre forward. They've got a guy called Callum Roberts, but again, answers on a postcard, whoever he is. I went with Murphy, Jacob Murphy, to play the lead striking role with a bit of pace. So again, it's the question of where the goals come from, but I think Lascelles, Darlow and Shelvey would have enough about them to beat that Cardiff team.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So yeah, 5 from 5.
It is 5 from 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Damn you.
Next up,
we have Chelsea versus Southampton.
Chelsea. Yes.
Now, it's a recurring problem we have with our top 6, as it were. I have very few players to choose from.
Okay.
So I've had 6 players I could choose from, and one of them really isn't. Well, he played a lot in pre-season, but isn't quite getting in first team. I'm a big fan of his. But I'll start in goal. We have. Do you remember who their English goalkeeper is? Remember the?
Oh my God! It's
old England favourite, Rob Green. Rob Green. Yeah. I was like, who am I going to? Oh, it's Rob Green. Yeah. And then we have recently retired England centre back Gary Cahill, marshalling the defence. Midfield is where it gets good. I've got Ross Barkley and Ruben Loftus-Cheek,
Nice.
and then. Getting the goals, I've got the player I referred to earlier. I've got Callum Hudson-Odoi, who I really enjoy watching in pre-season. Good dribble of a ball, scores some blooters. So that means I left out. I mean, I took the view of most other Chelsea managers. I left out Danny Drinkwater because
unsurprisingly,
he's uninspiring. So it's unsurprising I left him out.
Yeah.
So hit me with your Southampton side.
So if you were wondering, any English goalkeepers that haven't signed for Burnley have likely signed for Southampton, because they also have 4 English goalkeepers. So,
yes.
Alex McCarthy, Fraser Forster, Angus Gunn, and Harry Lewis is the young English goalkeeper they've got. I plumped for McCarthy because I like Fraser Forster, but again, on how it's been playing this year, he hasn't played. So.
Oh well, yeah, and I think he's on a downward spiral as well. I think ever since he came back from injuries, but he's a bit too big. And I always liked Alex McCarthy from his Reading days. I think it was Reading. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Okay, and then I'll just quickly go through the team and explain why at the end. So Bertrand is the defender, Davis is the captain and central midfielder. Alongside him is Ward-Prowse, and Danny Ings is getting the goals. However,
which Davis you on? Sorry,
Stephen Davis.
Isn't he of
Northern
Northern
Irish? He's Northern Irish. He is Northern Irish. Yeah, sorry, that was stupid. Okay, which means I can put but I can put back in the person that I took out to put him in, which is Redmond.
Oh, there we go.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. In there, yeah. So run me through it side again. So you got McCarthy, Bertrand,
Redmond, Ward-Prowse, Danny Ings.
Well, that's a good side.
It is a good side, and on the bench, waiting to come on is Matthew Targett as a backup defender and Jack Stevens as a backup defender. So if Bertrand gets injured and you want a bit of power, you bring on Jack Stevens. So
this is about as close as it's getting, I think.
Yeah.
So let's go 1 for 1. I've got Robert Green. You've got Alex McCarthy. I think you win.
Yeah.
Defence. I've got Gary Cahill. You've got Bertrand.
I'd have Cahill. I think in 5-a-side. I think I'd go for a Cahill. Yeah.
Midfield of Barkley and Loftus-Cheek versus
Nathan Redmond and James Ward-Prowse.
I think Barkley. I edged that.
Yeah, I think you edged that one.
Yeah, Callum Hudson-Odoi versus Danny Ings. I think you edged that. That is very close. And very close.
Someone else I forgot, who I know a few listeners actually really like because of Football Manager, Charlie Austin. Not in the team. Goal scorer.
He'll be very good as well. Yeah.
But Danny Ings. Danny Ings is a goal poacher.
I think he might edge that.
You reckon? You reckon that team edges out Chelsea? I think 5-a-side.
I don't know.
5-a-side. Whenever I've played 5-a-side, it always depends on. I don't think goalkeeper has that much of a say in 5-a-side because it's goal scoring chances.
It's too hard to get to the corners. Yeah.
And I think midfielders, your technical midfielders, are the ones that wins it. So technically, it's Redmond and Ward-Prowse versus Barkley and Loftus-Cheek, and I think you win that.
All right, Chelsea win.
I think Chelsea go through on that one. So
as they normally do against Southampton, Chelsea win.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Crystal Palace versus my Tottenham Hotspur. So, Crystal Palace. I had a fair few choices to make here. I think I had about 10 players. Again, we have a weak link. Anyone know who this goalkeeper is? Dion Curtis Henry. No, don't think
No.
so. He's played
Yeah.
one league game in his whole career. He's 21 years old, so he's never making it at Crystal Palace. Sorry, mate, you should go lower league. Then run through my side, I have ex-West Ham centre-back James Tompkins. I have probably their player of the season so far, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
And then I haven't really got a forward to pick from because I've put them to the bench. I'll speak about it in a sec. So I've got Jason Punchin and Andros Townsend in kind of maybe Townsend the furthest forward, which is all right,
It's
technically
not bad,
good,
yeah,
but
not bad.
I could have. My bench is. I've got Martin Kelly. I've got Scott Dan. I've got Joel Ward. I mean, the striker I could bring on is Connor Wickham.
Yeah, Connor Wickham. I thought
Connor
it was, yeah.
Wickham, 25-year-old Connor Wickham.
25? Is that it?
Mm.
How is he still in the Premier
Yeah,
League? He's terrible.
Well, he's been injured for a fair bit. I mean, he's played 36 games in the 14-15 season. Scored 5. Flurry at the end of the season and kept him up, but in the subsequent 3 seasons he's played a mere 29 times. I think he's done his cruciate and had a bad muscle tear. But yeah, he's at risk of kind of his career just fading away, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Okay, that's not a bad team. It's
a bit uninspiring, isn't it?
It is.
It can struggle for goals, won't it?
Yeah, it will. It will. So, as you said, like I've had to pick the Spurs team. I'm interested to know what would your 5 Spurs players be, just off the top of your head.
So we'd have Alfie Whiteman in goal.
Yeah.
I'd go for Danny, Eric Dyer, Harry Winks, Dele Alli, Harry Kane.
Oh, so it's the same apart from one player. And I can't stand Eric Dyer, so I didn't pick him. I picked Kieran Trippier as my one-out defender.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I went for Trippier. Just to hold the fort. He
Yeah.
looks like a bit of a nutcase, doesn't he, with his tattoos and his...
He does
Yeah,
look a little bit
so-
hard, man, doesn't he?
Yeah, I just thought that. And I think, Winks, Ali and Kane is asking for goals, isn't it? It's asking for goals, that.
It is.
So,
Yeah, mate, it's goals galore, so there's only one winner there, isn't there?
Yeah, I think I win that one as well. I say I
Yeah.
win it. Spurs
All
win it.
Yeah, well done, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so next up for me I have Everton and you have Watford.
Yeah.
Everton, again, I was blessed. Everton have got a good amount of English players here. So I have England's number 1. I have Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
I've then gone for a player somewhat reborn this year. Had a tough start to his Everton career last year. I've gone for Michael Keane in defence.
Big fan of Michael Keane. Big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have gone defenders. I could have had Phil Jagielka, Mason Holgate, Leighton Baines, Tyus Browning, John Joe Kenny. So a lot of defenders to choose from, but I've gone for just the one. Tom Davies in midfield, who looks like Modell, the singer-songwriter. Doesn't look the archetypal footballer. I've gone for Theo Walcott, starting to show his form again, and I thought I needed someone to finish it off up front, so I've gone for another forward. I've gone for Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top.
Okay, nice. I think that will beat this team that I'm going to announce.
Okay.
Although I've got Ben Foster in goal, who loves a big game, doesn't he? As he said. Have you read his thing? Didn't like playing for United. Too much pressure. Just what you want from a professional footballer. Yeah, that's what he said when he was at United.
I feel for him.
Well, Watford have one English defender in their whole squad, and his name
Craig Cathcart.
is
No, he's Northern Irish.
no,
isn't
he's
he?
Northern Irish. His name is Ben Wilmot, and again,
Oh yes.
who?
No, yeah.
Oh yes, who the hell is Ben Wilmot?
Yeah, Ben Wilmot. I know Ben Wilmot. I
Oh,
think he
yeah,
played
Ben.
against us in the
Yeah. Ben.
League Cup. I think.
Okay, right. Well, there you go. A League Cup player. In front of them, Nathaniel Chalobah.
Yeah, nice.
Gets in there alongside Will Hughes. And then
Well,
it's-
here we go. He's set up for five-a-side, isn't he, with his history of futsal and stuff? Yeah.
yeah. And then
And don't
it's,
tell me you've gone for Big Troy, have you?
it's your favourite man, yeah, Troy Deeney, leading the line. Meaning that I've left out Andre Gray and the one and the only Tom Cleverley doesn't make it. Can you believe it?
God.
Interesting
If there's
fact
ever
for you.
a player... Go on.
Interesting fact for you about Tom Cleverley. If you go onto the Premier League official website, which is where I went to just check the squads, Tom Cleverley is the only player in a Watford kit who's not wearing this year's Watford kit in his team photo. Like in all their profile
Got faith in
pictures.
him.
Yeah, he's wearing last year's kit, so that sort of sums it up for Tom Cleverley, I think.
Okay. And if a player who kind of represents how you get picked for England team when you're playing for a big side, but don't really play for a smaller side, is Tom Cleverley. At United, he gets picked for England squads. When he's been elsewhere, he hasn't.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, you probably win that one, I'd say.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Yeah.
And so then we have Fulham versus West Ham United.
Ham, yeah.
Fulham didn't have anywhere near enough players as I thought they would do.
Really?
They're all reasonably kind of first teamers, but I literally had 5 to choose from.
Okay.
So we have the Italian goalkeeper, Marcus Bettinelli in goal.
Yeah.
We have Callum Chambers on loan from Arsenal, who, again, I don't rate highly at all. Joe Bryan in defence also. Alfie Mawson in defence also. And then I top it off with the versatile youth prospect, Stefan Sessegnon's cousin, Ryan.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not off. I mean, Sessegnon started as left back as well, so it could be a team of defenders. It's it's not great. It's managed by Tony Pulis.
yeah. That's quite interesting because West Ham have, in terms of this, quite a lot of defenders you could pick from. They have 3 English defenders on their books that you could pick from. In goal, though, they have Nathan Trott, under 23 extraordinaire. Yeah. And then you've got the choices were Aaron Creswell, Ryan Fredericks, and Reece Oxford at the back. I went for Creswell. Ryan Fredericks, I quite like him, but I think Aaron Creswell is a bit more of an all-round defender. Ryan Fredericks likes to push on a lot higher. In front of him, Wilshere and Mark Noble, although it pains me to say it because I don't really like Mark Noble, but I think in 5-a-side those two would be pretty good. And then leading the line is going to have the same problems as Glenn Murray. It's Andy Carroll because they don't have another English striker. So
well, you could have gone for Mikel Antonio. I suppose he can offer a little bit sometimes.
True, yeah, I could have gone for Mikel Antonio, but I'll stick with the team I've picked. But was Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
So
and
on that note, West Ham could put out 2 5-a-side teams if they could share the goalkeeper. They could put out 2 5-a-side teams. They have 10 English players on their books. So
that's good.
Yeah,
that's well done. But you see, the theme is that the more English players you have, the worse you are as a side.
Yeah, that's very true. And
Cardiff have lots. Yeah.
I will caveat that by saying 3 of their English players have the squad numbers 45, 50 and 54. So read into
highly
that
regarded.
Yeah. So who wins that one?
All right. I would say West Ham win that one.
Okay, give West Ham the nod. They're both pretty crap. They'll probably get eliminated whoever they come up against next. So
right, we have Wolves. Huddersfield Town versus Wolves. Huddersfield Town, I mean, again, I did not have much to choose from here. So I've had to do a Stuart Pearce, which I'll explain in a bit. So, in goal, I have Ben Hamer, who had a shocking start to a season, but my hands were tied. I have their captain, Tommy Smith, in defence. Midfield of Jonathan Hogg and Alex Pritchard, a good, technically gifted kind of number 10 from who signed was Spurs youth. And then me doing a Stuart Pearce is that I had no one else to play, but I did have a second goalkeeper, so I've gone for Ryan Schofield up front, David James coming on up front for Man City when he wreaked absolute havoc up front.
Absolutely brilliant. Okay, well, I don't think he's going to trouble my defence because I'm going to have John Ruddy in goal. And I'm going to have Ryan Bennett and Connor Cody as a back. That's the back 3. That's solid. That no goal. A goalkeeper outfield isn't going to trouble that. Leaving out Courtney Howes, who is the other defender for West Ham, for Wolves, who's English. In the midfield, we go for Morgan Gibbs White, who's made 4 appearances in the Premier League. A good-looking prospect. Looks like he could be pretty useful. And then they had 2. Well, another midfielder. Is Ryan John Giles, who never heard of him, so he's not getting in near my 5-a-side team. And then up front, we've gone for a player that's so good that the Premier League website has put him in their squad twice. Like, I'm not joking. He's on the Premier League official website on the squads twice. Same picture, same player, same squad number, same stats. Ben Ashley Seal. Never heard of him. But he's on their squad twice, apparently. So, yeah, it's a pretty shocking game, but I think the defence would win it for Wolves.
So who's your defence again, sorry?
John Ruddy in goal, and then Ryan Bennett and Connor Cody, ever present this season for Wolves.
Yeah.
So
Connor Cody should be in the England squad as well.
What happens? What happens if it's a 0-0 in five-a-side?
They just go, oh, don't waste our time with this.
Yeah. I mean, should we just get rid of both of them? Get rid of both
Yeah,
Wolves?
let's get. I mean, well, let's get rid of. I mean, the tie there is West Ham versus Wolves. That comes
Yeah.
through, and it's kind of like, oh, you're banished.
Yeah, they're
You're
both gone.
banished from the
They're
next
both,
round.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the lineup for the next round then?
The lineup, we have Leicester City versus Liverpool, Manchester City versus Manchester United,
Oh.
Newcastle United versus Chelsea, and Tottenham versus Everton.
Oh. Right then, let's go straight from the off. Who's up
Right,
first?
Leicester. I like Leicester's side. I mean, they've got no goalkeeper, but
Yeah.
they've got England throughout.
They do. England internationals throughout.
Yeah.
And they were up against Chelsea. Chelsea.
No, against
Chelsea.
Liverpool, they are.
Oh, Liverpool. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, Liverpool though. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Lallana, Ox, Sturridge. It's a good team.
And goalkeeper.
Daniel Atherton. Both teams would have a youngster in
Yeah,
goal.
both teams have got a weak goalkeeper, but yeah, Liverpool win that for me. Liverpool.
Yeah. Okay. Liverpool are through.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, we have Man City then. Again, we have weak link goalkeeper, but you got Carl Walker, you got Phil Foden, you got Raheem Sterling, John Stones. Very good, yeah.
It's better than Smalling, Shaw, Lingard, Rashford. I think.
It is.
I
yeah.
think Man City go through. Man City go through on that one.
Yeah. We have Newcastle United versus Chelsea.
It's how much influence do Lascelles and Shelvey have in a five-a-side game? Because the rest of the team's pretty wank.
Yeah, but Lascelles versus Cahill, Barkley versus John Joe Shelvey. It's Chelsea all the way, isn't it?
It's Chelsea. Chelsea all day. Chelsea. Yeah.
And then we have Tottenham versus Everton. I mean, Tottenham have Harry Kane. Everton have Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, but Spurs have Whitman or Whiteman, and Everton have Jordan Pickford.
But as you said earlier, when you're in five-a-side, chances get taken.
Yeah.
And find those corners.
I don't even know why I'm defending it, because you can't. Winks, Ali, and Kane is incredible.
Yeah.
So, okay. On we go. I'm whistling down the list as we go.
Man City versus Liverpool, Tottenham versus Chelsea.
Right. Man City, Liverpool. It's tough. It's tough. That's really tough.
It is.
Dan, you were looking at
Sturridge, I'd say, is more potent than Sterling in front of goal in this situation.
Right, Josh, we're going to take your first answer here. It's Atherton, Alexander-Arnold, Lallana, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Sturridge versus Grimshaw, Walker, Stones, Foden, Sterling.
It's Liverpool.
Liverpool, okay, Liverpool get it. We'll go with that. I can't argue. It would be a cracking game to watch. You're just going with the Sturridge potency, yeah? You're going with the goal scorer.
Above side, technically gifted, yeah. If he can stay fit.
Okay, and then the
Tottenham
London
Chelsea
derby
to finish it off. Your London derby. Chelsea, again, where's Chelsea goals? Chelsea haven't got a striker. You've got Callum Hudson-Odoi versus Harry Kane. You've got Robert Green. I mean, he's going to break going down into those corners. It's Tottenham all the way.
Tottenham all the way. Yeah, I can't disagree. And then you get one hell of a lineup in the Premier League English five-a-side teams. You get Liverpool versus Spurs, both with an under-23 goalkeeper in net. In Atherton versus Whiteman. Defender, you have both right backs. Alexander-Arnold versus Trippier. You have England internationals against each other all the rest of the park. Lallana versus Winks. Ox versus Ali. Sturridge v Kane.
Oh my goodness! See, well, so let me just think about what's the bench option. The Spurs obviously have Rose and
the Spurs would have
Rose and Dyer.
Yeah, Rose, Dyer, and that's about it. I think Danny Rose, Kyle Walker-Peters, Eric Dyer.
Yes.
Luke Amos is on the bench. Oliver Skip. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Oliver Skip's it. Yeah. So it's a weak bench. What's Liverpool's bench? If they need to change it after Daniel Sturridge gets injured.
Liverpool's bench is, if we can just load up the website,
Joe Gomez,
James
Milner,
Joe Gomez, James Milner,
Jordan Henderson,
Nathaniel Klein, Jordan Henderson. It's a pretty strong bench, to be honest. Solanke, Ryan Brewster. It's
Well done, Liverpool. We're Liverpool.
Yeah.
Win it out.
Because the tactic would just be
So
boot Harry Kane, wouldn't it? Just foul Harry
Yeah.
Kane.
So not only are Liverpool riding high in the Premier League outright, but they would be winning the English five-a-side league. Well done, Liverpool.
And Daniel
But
Atherton
we didn't really learn
would be
much
the
new
hero.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, there's no untapped English resource at other sides, but it did show that there's not many English players at the top 6. I mean, I had 5 to choose from at Arsenal. I had 6 to choose from at Chelsea. You had a bit more at Tottenham and a bit more at United, but not many
Yeah.
more at Man City, did you?
No,
And Liverpool had a fair
Liverpool have
few.
a lot.
So
Liverpool do have a lot. They're just very concentrated around midfield. So,
yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
okay.
there you go. Liverpool win it with an under 23 goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Who needs
Impressive.
Allison?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So there you go. In the comments below, leave us a comment to say, what would your team's five-a-side be using only English players? Did we get some players wrong that you think should be in there that weren't? And would Liverpool come out on top if you're doing the battles that we did? Do you think they'd win that competition? Interesting. So Josh, we've got to go back to your quiz that you started with at the beginning of the show. Shall I rattle off some names for you?
Just to reiterate the quiz, so there have been 13 Vans to score in the Premier League. Can you name them? So, Dave, what have you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got up to 9.
Okay, who have you got
right. Van Nistelrooy.
Yes.
Van Persie.
Yes.
Raphael van der Aert.
Van der Vaart, yes.
That's
the top 3.
Excellent. I've got them in top 3 order as well. And then I went defender, Van Dijk. He's definitely scored.
Yes.
And then I went a bit left field, Ricky van Wolfswinkel.
Yes, bottom of the list.
Good. Then
he was out of his depth.
Then he definitely was, yeah. Then I went someone I remember growing up, Pierre Van Hooijdonk for Forest.
Yes.
Then I went Arsenal, Van Bronckhorst.
Yes.
More recent, Crystal Palace fullback, Van Arnholt.
Yes.
And then I started to panic and ran out of Vans, so I went with someone that I remembered played in the Premier League, or he might even still be playing for Swansea. No, they got relegated, so it's not. But they're not in the Premier League. But Van der Horn, did he ever score for Swansea?
Yes, correct, yeah.
And then I've run out, and I'm really struggling now to think of Vans. And
yeah, you're going to struggle from there on in.
There's got to be some that are like 92 to 98 or something.
Yeah, I mean, the highest one on the list that you didn't get. Go on.
Everton winger. Awesome on Champ Manager. Van der Meijder.
No, he had an awful time at Everton, and he kind of crucified his career. So he didn't score.
Okay.
So we have the highest on the list is Raji van La Parra.
What? Currently at Huddersfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that
So
him?
then we have Robin van der Laan.
Who the hell is that?
Ulrich van Gobbel, and the last one on the list, a good player in FM, and I think he was the player who was involved. He was at Southampton, kind of a fullback, centre back. It was Jelly Van Dam.
Oh, Jelly Van Dam, yeah. I do remember him.
But well done, Dave. A lot of good answers there.
Who are those two in the middle that you said? Like that towards the end, sorry. Van Gaal.
Robin van der Laan, L-A-N, and Ulrich van Gobbel.
Who the hell are they? I like to think I've got good football knowledge, but who the hell is Van der Gommel?
Robin van der Laan played for Derby and Wolves.
Right.
He was a midfielder, never played for the Dutch national team. And Van Gobbel, I think, had a similarly poor career. He was, he about 8 times for Holland, but he had a bit of a stint at Southampton in 97, scoring 1 goal.
Scoring the 1 goal, yeah. Incredible. Oh, well, you learn something new every day.
There you go.
Every day.
So let us know if you fared better than Dave, but if you did, I'm very impressed because they are some obscure names in the list.
Yeah, 9 to beat, or 10 to beat, because I got one at the end that I didn't write down. But yeah, interesting. Good quiz, Josh. Good quiz. I like that. I like that a lot. And that actually brings us to the end of the show. Have you got any final whims of wonder that you want to say to the listeners?
I mean, it's a lot of pressure, and I don't. So no, but thank you everyone for listening.
Okay. Excellent. So with that then, we'll say thank you very much for listening. Go and check us out on all the social media platforms. I say all of them. We're only on Twitter for social media. But thank you for listening on YouTube and SoundCloud and getting in touch with us and things like that. Give us a follow on Twitter. Go and follow Josh as well if you want to. He's always talking Spurs pretty much, aren't you, on your Twitter account. Follow me if you want, and you have to put up with me spamming Football Manager and Provo videos from my YouTube channel. But thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back next week. We should be back next week, back with the Premier League. Or is it a 2-week international break?
No, we're good. We're back.
Yeah,
we're
we're
saved.
good. Yeah, we're back to normal. Good. So thank you very much for listening, guys. But for now, Josh, say your goodbyes.
Oh, bye.
Oh, there we go. Good. For now, we're out. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye.